from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and skin. If we're behind then never mind, we'll fight and win, for we're from Tigerland. We never weak until the final siren's gone.
Alright, Tiger fans, the round 12 changes are in against the Giants. We just don't know who the sub is yet, but in for this week, Dion Prestia back for his first game at AFL level after playing, I think it was about a half, but across 3 or 4 quarters in the VFL, had 20-odd touches, did okay. I personally thought he might have spent another week or two in the VFL just to make sure his body was going to hold up to it all, but he's back in. Tom Lynch, Toby Nankervis, and Tyler Sonsie on the back of his back-to-back 37 disposal games, which is just monstrous. And going out, we've got Thompson Dow, Sam Lawler, which we obviously both already knew about, Samson Ryan, and Morris Rioli Jr. So they are the changes for the game against the Giants. Now, looking at the interchange, which is where the sub typically comes from, it's got Caleb Smith, Camden McIntosh, Kane McCall, Tyler Sonsie, or Steely Green. I will be fuming if Tyler Sonsie is sub after 237 disposal games. He's getting clearances, he's getting heaps of tackles. Just play him in the midfield at the risk of rehashing an old video. Just play him in the guts. From that list, though, it actually, unfortunately, feels like it's kind of out of Caleb Smith and Tyler Sonsie, to be honest, unless they want to roll with Steely Green as a small forward sub, similar to what they do with Morris Jr. But I think they must rate Steely's pressure on the ground. I'm kind of looking for a big game from Steely, might I add, because he hasn't really hit the scoreboard since about Anzac Eve. And whilst the pressure side of things is obviously valuable, at some point we need to start hitting it more offensively and start getting some scores on the board and giving ourselves better chances to kick over 70, 80, 90 points, whatever it might be. The inclusions of Prestia, Lynch, and Nankervis, I think that adds about 620 odd games of experience just between those 3 players, which is always a welcomed addition. The big unknown, obviously, is how the midfield's going to work with Prestia, Hopper, Taranto. The eye test and the pub test suggests we are going to lose a bit more speed in there. I don't think those 3 have actually worked together in the midfield all that much throughout the courses of their career due to varying reasons. But look, while Prestia is probably a better disposer of the ball than those 2, he's quick-minded as well, so he might get a lot more quick-releasing passes away. My worry is still more so to do with when the Giants get the ball and they're running away with clearance, how are we going to be able to hunt them down and prevent them from getting a clean inside 50 entry. So that's the big one I'm looking out for. And I obviously understand as well that Prestia is not going to play bulk midfield minutes, I would imagine, coming back from just the 2 and a bit quarters at VFL level. So I assume he might spend some time on the bench. He's probably a candidate to even be subbed, maybe, depending on managing his minutes. Or he might play half forward for a little bit. But it's going to be interesting to see how we work the midfield. Because, you want to be able to get Kane McAuliffe in there, Sonsie in there. Well, I do and everyone else does. I'm not sure if the club do. Jack Ross will go through there as well. So, yeah, there's a bit to play out to see how our midfield operates. The forward line is probably the other part of the ground I'm not fully convinced with. I know that sounds a little bit harsh. Love having Tom Lynch back. I think that's obviously very, very much needed. But in my mind, and maybe we're a week away from being able to execute this, I just still feel like we're too inexperienced from a tall perspective. And it's not a shot at Sims or Ford because they're young and inexperienced and it is what it is. And I love the fact that we're getting game time into them. But when you start to come across a few games that you were in that you maybe could have won, and you look at different parts of the ground, I'm thinking, is our best forward setup having 2 more mature forwards and then 1 inexperienced forward? So that way they get the 3rd best defender. They can probably have a more meaningful impact on the game rather than a Sims or a Fall having to play on a 2nd best defender and then maybe struggling a little bit more with that. Even though it's great exposure, it's great experience and all the rest of it, it's a really tricky balance because do you want to try and jag a couple more games or keep yourself in games for longer? Or do you just want to go in really exposed and just get them the experience and fast track it? Or is there a way to blend the 2? I'm not sure. But personally, I would have gone Tom Lynch and Lafau in. Lafau, maybe, I can understand why we might hold off another week. But I can definitely see that being the pillar of our forward line in the future. Lynch, Lafau, and then one of Sims, Fall, Armstrong. And just keep rotating him through. But yeah. They're our changes. Interestingly, Sam Banks has been named on the wing on the AFL website. Not that means a hell of a lot because he's been doing really well at halfback. So they've got Luke Traynor and Nick Vlosten at halfback, but I'm sure we will see Sam Banks down in the back line where he's been doing his best work. But emergencies for this game, Samson Ryan, James Trezise and Jasper Alga. Trezise has had a pretty good couple of games in the VFL, and he must be very, very close to getting a call-up. And Jasper Alga, well, it's no secret I've been singing his praises for a little while. I still think at some point we see him come in for Steely Green just to add some firepower and some actual scoreboard threat up front. I think it's at some point we're going to pull the trigger there, but his time will come. But otherwise, looking forward to the game against the Giants, and even more so the VFL playing as the curtain raiser beforehand. Very, very good that it's not overlapping or anything like that, so we can actually see both games. But yeah, should be a very interesting game. Looking forward to seeing Prestia get back out there and what he can add to the midfield, and I just pray that we've got the blend right and we don't lose any more pace, because we can't afford to lose the pace we already don't have in there. So yeah, keen to see how that plays out. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you happy with the changes? Was there anyone else you would have put in? And how many disposals for Dion Prestia against the Giants? I'll go with 23. We'll get him back for 23 touches in his first game back. Let us know what you think in the comments below.